What's up? This is Mar here. Um, oh my gosh. So, I'm going back home for the holidays. I'm been out as trans for less than 2 months. I just feel like I've been trans my whole life. I don't feel like I've ever been a girl. It's just been such a strange phenomena that's been placed upon me. um, and that I accepted for a long time. Of course, like, you accept what everybody else is telling you when you're a kid. You're like, yeah, it's, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. It's weird, but um, I'm pre-T, and I am dealing with pretty consistent dysphoria right now that I'm like kind of in denial about. I'm slightly in denial about the dysphoria I'm currently experiencing, which makes it harder for me to deal with people and come out to people. And um, it's just so early on. Like, it's only been like 3 months since I've had like a really conscious awakening to my transness. So that makes it very fresh, very new. It's harder for me to um, be confident with it because although I can feel it in my heart to be very true, and every day it becomes more and more true and more clear, it's still like so much. I'm so affected by the projections of other people and like other people's fears and other people's um, judgments and misconceptions about what it is to be a trans male, what it is to be somebody who has a male brain and a female body and is like trying to get that all figured out. And it's hard. We're struggling. Like, it's not easy. Um, but at the same time, like, I also feel like in the last 3 months since I've known consciously and very deeply, like in the present, know that I'm trans and know that I will one day be a transsexual and that I will be a dude with a vagina, which is awesome. Um, I just said vagina. I don't know. It's YouTube. I don't know how appropriate. Whatever. Um, I think it's a beautiful word. Yoni is an even more beautiful word. I'll be a man with a yoni. Um, I lost my train of thought because I said the word vagina. What did I say? I just feel I've grown so much in the last 3 months. I have grown so much as a spiritual being and an emotional being, and I've had to look at how I behave in a way that I've never had given the time of day. I've never given the time of day to how I interact with women, how I interact with men, how I interact with people who are gender nonconforming, how the binary is also bullshit, and like how people prescribe to it, how I prescribe to it. I've just like blown open. My third eye is just like, you have to look at all these crazy things that have been making you feel crazy. So I'm having to look at those things that have been making me feel crazy. Oh, this is a fun angle. I get to lay back and be super. I'm on the first day of my period, which is really hard because it causes more dysphoria. The hormonal fluctuation of PMS and the menses causes a ton of dysphoria because I don't understand it. I'm just like, why is my body doing this? Like, I don't understand why my body's doing this. I don't handle the hormonal fluctuations very well on a mental plane. Like, I watch women process their PMS and process their lives on a daily basis, like cisgendered women and trans women too, I'm sure, process and synthesize in such like a fast and efficient and beautiful way. And my brain has a really hard time processing the complexity of hormonal fluctuations that women go through, that my body goes through, because it's a female body. My brain is utterly confused, and it makes the symptoms even worse because I don't know how to deal with them a lot of the time. I dissociate. I don't know why my body is doing these things, feeling these things, because I just am like, why am I not just getting a pretty regular, steady dose of testosterone? Why is my estrogen going up and down, and why is progesterone up in the mix? Like, I'm not trying to do that, but I'm doing it. It's been happening for a while. So that's going on right now, which is why I'm laying down and feeling really like cozy, and also like in a little bit of discomfort and feeling really wide open, which is why I'm recording myself, because my aura feels open. The floodgates are opened, and I feel like I can talk about things. I'm really excited to be a man. I understand myself as a man. I have a lot of resistance. I'm dealing with a lot of internalized transphobia, internalized man hatred. I'm dealing with a lot of internalized like hatred of masculinity and males and men, and it's because I am one. So it's a lot of like internalized self hatred. Not on me personally, but the masculine part of myself. I'm afraid of it because men in this society and the way that masculinity is created by this society is, but masculinity as a construct is a very violent construct and is a very repressive and oppressive and penetrative construct, and it has a lot of negative connotations, and I've experienced the negativity of, like, I've experienced the negative aspects of those constructions within myself as a being and from other people that are male-bodied and identify as men. And I just see how that the label of man and being a tough guy and all that shit, I see how absolutely detrimental that is to cisgendered males and also to trans males. And I experience it in my body because I'm ashamed of some of the things that I think a lot of cisgendered men are ashamed of. And that makes it harder for me to accept that I am a man and accept that I identify as one and I understand myself as one. And that is the place in this whole fucked up game of labels. Guy and man and he. That is the place where I feel like home. That's the place where I feel comfortable. And everyone around me right now is kind of like, why do you, like, okay, sure, you feel this way, but you're not a man. You're something else. You're better, you're different. And I'm just like, no. I understand that I'm genderqueer, and I always will be. Like, it's not something, I'm not trying to go from one end of the binary to the other because I never identified as a woman. So I'm not trying to go from being a woman to a man. I just understand myself as a man, and I want to be recognized as one. But I also don't want to totally take over all the bullshit privilege and all the asshole ways that cisgendered men, like white cisgendered men, have no idea that they're even fucking doing. And that ignorance is just like, oh man, drives me crazy. And I'm afraid of that ignorance inside of me. So a lot of the transitioning for me mentally and emotionally is hard because I have blocks and fears over becoming kind of an asshole dude. I watch men more than I've ever watched men. And I've been observing their actions, cisgendered men, cisgendered males, I should say. I don't know how they identify, but a lot of them, I'm sure, because they're super fucking privileged, identify as men and are a man and inhabit spaces that women are not allowed to inhabit on a daily basis and take up a lot of room and say whatever the fuck they want most of the time. And so I'm dealing with a lot of that internalized, like, oh shit, do I do that? And I do that, but I'm in a female body, so it's very different. I have had a lot of I've had a lot of interesting interactions throughout my life with authority because I am a female-bodied person who is a man. Whoa, it happens. That's fucking crazy. And people don't know how to deal with it. They're just like, you're being a bitch. You're being a cunt. You're being a bitch. And you don't have any respect for authority. Whereas if a dude does that, people are like, oh, sorry. You can't do that. I'm sorry that you did. We didn't tell you. I'm sorry we didn't tell you, but you can't do that. And I'm just over here and they're like, we're afraid of you. You're dangerous. We don't understand why you're acting like somebody. You're not in the right body to be acting that way. And I'm just like, fuck. But this is who this is who I am. I've always been this way. I'm trying. I think for me, the relief in transitioning is that I finally feel like I'm able to match up for myself, most importantly, and so that other people can shut the fuck up. I want other people to shut the fuck up. I want this society to change more than I want people to shut the fuck up. I want the voices that are important. I want them to be heard. My voice, other people's voices who are like, yo, it is fucked up that a male-bodied person can take up more space in a room than a differently bodied person. Why the fuck do we have a gender binary? You know? Why? There's not even a biological sex binary. It's not real. It's not real. It's such a simplified understanding of the human diversity as a species. So anyway, I'm ranting, and I know I'm ranting. And if you're listening, that's awesome. If you're not, that's awesome too. I just feel like my own body is a revolution. I believe all trans bodies are a revolution. Trans bodies are a revolution.